doesn't have to be around anyone on the course. You don't need a psychological disorder to get the Nike VRS Covert 2.0 driver. You just need to go to Golfsmith.
How much time? 30 seconds. I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Okay. Enough kidding around.
Ho, 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 ho.
And now it's time for the Buddy Martin Sports Page.
He actually had me stay here last night in his gym.
It's like I don't fit in. It's like I don't belong here.
Let's go talk to a couple of guys that never gamble.
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put you on the pool house at the same time. He didn't think we could do it.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
And now, here's Buddy.
Welcome to another edition of Buddy Sports Page. On a Wednesday, it's Hump Day. We're going to have with us shortly a superstar distance runner, a guy who was a legend in high school and went on to become an Olympian and one of the most popular distance runners ever. Jim Ryan, former congressman, joins us at quarter after to talk about this weekend's the big things going on coming up soon with Helping Hands and their 5K race and their dinner and all the things they got happening. So as we talked about this with Brad Dinkins a couple of weeks ago, we'll tell you more about it. I want to talk to Jim Ryan about the enormous pressure he had as a teenager on him to run the 4-minute mile, and what happened to him, it just about burned him out. Anyway, he has had a long and very successful career as a politician up in Washington. He's now retired, and I believe he's running a business up there, and of course, I know he's part of the conservative movement in politics. Meanwhile, we've got NBA basketball to talk about. Looks like the Heat are on their way towards sorting things out. Last night's easy win propelled them into a strong position. Doesn't look like Brooklyn's going to be nearly the rival that everybody thought they would, considering that Brooklyn was able to sweep them during the regular season. But I think LeBron is open for business and taking this thing over. So we'll talk about that. One of the most touching things I have seen and heard in a very long time was the MVP speech by Kevin Durant of Oklahoma City. If you haven't seen it, click on it. It'll be all over the internet, including ESPN. We're going to play it in a moment, where he talks about his mother. You talk about a Mother's Day present to his mom and a note, love letter to his mother, as he stood before his teammates there and talked about his mom and what she sacrificed for her. It was one of the most real things I have ever seen on TV, one of the most touching speeches. I'm not big on these speeches because most of the time you say, well, thank you for my teammates, thank you for this, thank you for my coach, and all that stuff. It's like almost like an Oscar. This is not at all what this is about. This is a personal thank you, a tearful thank you, and tribute to his mom, who was right there. And I just think I think it made me even feel differently, Austin, about Kevin Durant.
Certainly.
I like him already. I love the guy now because you know what? This is who he is.
Right, and he's not always in the media. He's not always in the talking of people because he doesn't say a lot. I mean, he's a quiet guy. He's reserved. He doesn't come out and make outlandish statements. And yes, he's the face of the Thunder and all that, but nobody really knows where he comes down on things because he doesn't say a lot. But after watching that entire speech yesterday, it's hard not to love the guy. I mean, he goes out, and what I think was incredible about it, not only thanking his mother, that was the top of the speech, but to single out every single one of his teammates.
In a special way.
In a special way, and to say, thank you for this, and each of them were different. And even the guys that had just jumped on, like Caron Butler has just jumped on, the rookies that have just jumped on, he had something special to say, and to each and every one of them, he said, thank you for this, thank you for that. And this whole entire speech, it's for him winning the MVP. And yet this whole entire speech, you're looking at him and listening to him and watching him thanking everybody else. And I think that's just exactly who he is. He's the most humble, like Scott Brooks said, he's the most humble superstar that you will ever meet, and a guy who realizes and understands that MVP award isn't his without everybody around him. And I especially liked the story that he told about the team manager or the equipment manager that looked at Kevin Durant and said, this is my first MVP. And Kevin Durant then said, well, you know what? I thought about that, and truly it is. It's an MVP award for the whole entire organization down to the equipment managers.
Yeah, and then he talked about Coran said to him, he said, I'll never forget the day you put that note in my locker after we lost 3 in a row. And you said MVP then after we lost 3 in a row. So very touching. I come from a different era. And back in my day as a sports writer, we love guys like this. We love, and maybe to a fault, sometimes almost canonize people or eulogize people, whatever the case may be, who were kind-hearted, good people who did good things. What's so great about this is it kind of balances out some of the real rotten apples we got in athletics right these days. For every one of these prima donna jerks that we hear about and read about and who get involved in crime and drugs and disgust us, here's a man that you can be proud of, to root for. You can be proud of to know he's an athlete representing your hometown. And I just think it's just a wonderful story. And I absolutely am going to be a bigger Kevin Durant fan now than I've ever been. Do you have the speech there? Can we play it?
I can work on getting it, but
we'll go to take a break and come back. And after Congressman Ryan, we'll see if we can get that, because I think it's worth hearing again, a story. And I guarantee you, if you watch it on TV, bring a box of Kleenex, because it will definitely make you cry, without a doubt. It's very tender and wonderful. So let's go ahead and take that break early now. What do you got?
You got headlines?
All right, go ahead. I thought you
got a few headlines.
Yeah, go ahead.
Seattle Seahawks star, main headline of the day: Richard Sherman has signed a record deal with the Seattle Seahawks.
Big payday.
4 years, $57.4 million contract extension. This comes after him saying the best way for the Seahawks to show Richard Sherman respect is in the form of money. The Seattle Seahawks responded nearly $60 million in a contract extension. Next headline of the day: Johnny Manziel, on the eve of the NFL draft, says he has no idea which team will pick him, but any quarterback-needy team that passes on him will regret it. Manziel said, I believe they will personally regret it. I know in my heart how good I want to be and how committed I am to the game.
Yeah, I want to take a comment about that after the break, too. I got an idea where that might be.
Yes. Well, the Indiana Pacers have been upset by the recent stream of talks and off-court chemistry issues, and the Pacers are firing back in their comments and said, these rumors have got to stop. It's getting old now that you believe them, and anybody that believes them is ignorant. We're all brothers.
Yeah, go out and win, and you'll get all rid of those rumors. That's what you got to do.
There you go. Colin Kaepernick took to Twitter Wednesday in response to the 9/11 tapes released in the investigation in Miami involving him, tweeting that he is glad the truth is getting out. On Kaepernick's Twitter, he released a tweet that said, on 911 calls, I'm glad the truth is getting out. Info that came out earlier was totally wrong. I look forward to this matter being resolved. Final headline of the day involves Mark Jackson and him talking about his firing. He defended the job he did with the Warriors and invited critics to put their names behind their words. Obviously, a lot of people have come out and criticized Mark Jackson and his job.
All right, Mark. All right, Mark. I got Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson's not here, but Austin is. We'll take a break. Coming up next, former Congressman, superstar distance runner Jim Ryan, right here on the Voice of Ocala. Stay tuned to
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Here in Florida, when you're looking to go to the beach, you've got hundreds of options. Theme parks, no shortage of options there either. But when it comes to home insurance, most companies have only one option. Allstate is different. Here in Florida, Allstate agents offer home insurance options from several companies, so they can help you get the coverage that's right for you. And they'll help you save on quality car insurance, too. For starters, safe drivers save 45% with Allstate. So before you settle for just one option, talk to someone with many home and car insurance options. Your local Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
For more information, call the McDonald Agency at 352-622-2333 or visit us online at themcdonaldagency.com.
Allstate has no financial responsibility to you for any home insurance policy you purchase and would not be responsible for any claims. Allstate does not make any representations or accept liability related to operations of home insurance companies, including but not limited to their financial conditions. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Savings vary.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA, The Source.
Hi, it's Lisa Midget, owner of the brand new Proper Tees Salon. It's a perfect time to freshen up your cut and color for the new year. And if you really want to change up your look, talk to us about Hotheads extensions for extra volume and length. How about a blowout for date night? Give us a call. Enjoy some me time while you relax in our newly renovated salon and check in on Facebook using our free Wi-Fi. We know you'll be happy with your new look. We guarantee it. Our style guarantee assures you that no matter what, you will love your hair or we will fix it for free. Call for your appointment today. 352-351-1771. We're located in downtown Ocala next to the Southside Deli. Tell us Buddy sent you for 20% off your first service visit. Now hiring licensed cosmetologists, nail techs, and front desk staff. Visit our website, thepropertees.com, for our online application. The Proper Tees Salon, timeless elegance meets classic style.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
Uh-oh.
Is that what I thought it was?
As long as you don't think it was me running over a sprinkler head, then no, it wasn't.
Oh, brother.
Don't worry about it. I'll just add it to the honey-do list.
If you had signed up for Mike Scott Plumbing's irrigation package in the first place, you wouldn't have to do anything.
What? Mike Scott Plumbing does irrigation too?
Yeah. I told you they have packages where they take care of everything.
Yeah, but I broke it, so they're not going to cover that.
But with their annual irrigation maintenance plans, you never have to pay for another service charge or broken sprinkler head ever again, regardless of the fault.
So that means I break it, they fix it.
That's what I said, Mr. Genius.
Okay, you win. How do I sign up?
I thought you'd never ask. Call Mike Scott Plumbing today and ask about their irrigation maintenance plans. 237-2888. That's 237-2888.
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
I'm Major George Patterson from the Salvation Army. Please stop by our family store at 120 Northwest 10th Street in Ocala, where on Wednesday you have a 50% off clothing and bric-a-brac. On Friday, 25% off furniture and large appliances. And on Saturday, stop by to our yard sale from 8:45 to 11. Donations can be made by calling 352-732-4469 and we'll pick it up. Funds from the store go toward the services that we provide in Marion County.
All right, welcome back to Buddy Sports Page. Time now to go Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, and talk to a man who is a legend. I remember when he was in high school. I remember when he was on the covers of Sports Illustrated. I remember when he ran for Kansas, when he ran for the Olympic team. A guy that was, if you follow track at all, you've got to have heard of Jim Ryan, Congressman Jim Ryan, although I think he's out of office now. But he's part of a Helping Hands Foundation that we're 5K and breakfast we're doing here in town. He'll be here. And with that, we'll welcome Congressman Jim Ryan. Nice to have you on the program. Buddy Martin here. Jim, how are you?
It's great to be on with you, and you realize you're dating yourself with all those stories you told. I
know.
We're of last century's generation.
We are. A couple of dinosaurs, for sure. That's right. You know, I always wanted to ask you this question because I followed your career pretty closely being a sports writer for all those years. And later I was spending quite a bit of time in Colorado. And mostly in Florida. But you were just a budding star that came out of nowhere, and suddenly you were thrust into the limelight as a teenager, and then not just a national, not just a state. You were an international star for running a sub 4-minute mile. What was that like for you?
Well, buddy, I wasn't really prepared for it. It was kind of one of those things. To be honest with you, as a young boy growing up, I was cut from every team that I was a part of, the church baseball team, the junior high basketball team, couldn't make the junior high track and field team. And then I started praying a simple prayer in junior high, God, I'd like to do something with my life. I'd like to be involved in sports. And if you could help me out, I'd appreciate it. And boy, did he show up, because you're absolutely right. It was a phenomenal growth that as I look back on it now, sometimes it's hard to believe that it actually happened to me. But going from, nowhere on any kind of a team to the Olympic team in 18 months was a phenomenal change of lifestyle. And quite honestly, I wasn't really prepared for it, because how do you prepare for something like that?
Like the story goes, you know this right well. Be careful what you ask for.
Oh, absolutely.
And so you're from Kansas, and you started getting this international attention, and then you went to college, and you continued in running in college as you got more and more famous. How did you deal with the pressure of that?
Well, at times not very well, but for the most part, I had wonderful people around me who helped me make wise decisions so that I didn't do some really stupid things. So for the most part, it was a challenge, because in my day, and we didn't have an agent, we didn't have a sports information person. I had Coach Timmons, and he would get the phone calls, and if he didn't get them, I would get them. And so I needed some wisdom along the way. Unfortunately, Coach Timmons, Coach Edmonston, my parents, so many other people helped in terms of keeping me from doing some really stupid things when you're a young guy growing up.
Well, you signed a lot of autographs in your day. I know that. And here's a good reason why you should always pay attention when you're signing an autograph. You never know who might be asking for your autograph, like your future wife, right?
Exactly. And that's a story that for those who come to the Helping Hands event Friday night and Saturday in Ocala, they'll have a chance to meet my bride, my wife, for 45 years. But in 1966, when I set the world record for the first time, first American since another Kansan by the name of Glenn Cunningham, because of the uniqueness of it in Berkeley, California, there was a lot of media attention, autographs to sign, interviews to do. And about 2.5 hours passed, I went to the tent where my warm-up gear had been stored, only to find everything had been stolen. And so off across the field, I start running, and up runs this real attractive girl and her brother and said, "Hey, Jim, I go to Kansas State University, and I'd like your autograph." And I told her since I went to KU, I ran a little faster and she could catch me later. She got her autograph. Thanksgiving of that year, a mutual friend invited us to a Thanksgiving track party, and so she got her autographs, and that's how I met my wife, Ann, and she's been such a blessing in my life. And now 4 children, 7 grandchildren later, the Ryan dynasty goes on. Have your sons, Ned and Drew and others, are they runners also? All 4 of our children were runners. They all ran, with the exception of our youngest daughter, Catherine. They all ran for the University of Kansas. She went ahead and she loves doing triathlon, so she's our triathlete in the family.
Jim Ryan, the well-known miler and Olympian and world record holder, first one in high school, I guess you were, when you broke that 400 mile, is our special guest today. And then comes politics. Did you ever see yourself getting into politics?
I really didn't, and actually the motivation for me was that when I was a high schooler, and then after college, or in college, I was racing against the old Soviet Union in Moscow and Kiev, and then I would see some of the socialist countries as I traveled through on the U.S. team. And I thought to myself at that point, maybe someday, I could participate if Kansans endorse me and vote for me, serve maybe in Congress or someplace and help make the country a little better. That came along in 1996 as I was helping carry the Olympic torch across Kansas. I was challenged by one of the congressional delegates from Kansas, Todd Heart from Wichita, to run for the 2nd district seat because it had opened up. I ran, and by the grace of God, I won on my first go-around. Wonderful family and wife to help support me, and lots of Kansans. So it was a great privilege to serve for 10 years.
Did Bob Dole have any influence on your career as a politician?
He did some, yes.
Because I know he, of course, is a well-known man. Let's talk about this event this weekend. Yeah, and you're hooked up with our friend Brad Dinkins. I know that this is going to be this thing has been a big hit. It's already sold out the breakfast and the 5K. Are you going to run in the 5K?
Actually, I'm the starter. The banquet the night before is sold out. I think people can come still register for the race. They can get a hold of Brad, and still come that
Yes.
morning. And after the race, there's a breakfast, and then I'll be doing a free clinic afterwards, answering questions. I'll have some of my books, Courage to Run, if they're interested in purchase. They just want to come and visit. They're welcome to come join us Saturday morning as well.
So we've got the dinner sold out, but the breakfast the next day too as well. So you will have copies. Where will you have the copies of the books?
I'll have them at the race, and then I'll have them at the clinic that we're doing afterwards. It's a free clinic for people in the area.
And are you arriving in Ocala when? Friday?
We get in on Friday afternoon,
Okay,
yes.
very good. Well, I love your story. I appreciate you supporting this event, and the folks there at Helping Hands do a great job in our community for the less needy folks. I know you have a heart for that as well.
Congratulations to Brad for all his work and all the volunteers that are making it happen. And anybody that's listening and wants to come out on Saturday morning, please come join us.
Great. Now, do I still refer to you as Congressman? That's the proper thing to do, isn't it?
You can do that. They can call me lots of different things, Olympian, Congressman. But most of all, I'm Grampy to 12 grandchildren, and that's really a great honor.
That's the biggest job you got right there. Congressman Ryan, it's a pleasure to have you on the program. Thank you, and
My pleasure.
hope to see you this weekend.
Thanks very much for your time.
All right. Congressman Jim Ryan. I mean, this guy was a megastar. I mean, he was huge. I mean,
on Sports Illustrated, more than Frank Shorter, more than Carl Lewis, more than Michael Johnson, any track and field star you can think of that's American, not on Sports Illustrated cover as much as Jim Ryan.
Yeah, and it's such a sort of obscure beginning, from a small town in Kansas. He's pops on the scene as a high school miler. And Roger Bannister's 4-minute mile mark, first of all, had been broken by Glenn Cunningham, a Kansan. Well, it was one of the most coveted records in all sports.
Right.
And here's a guy that you think, wow, where did he come from? And then we didn't talk about it on the interview, but he had so much pressure on him that at one point he had so much pressure when he ran, he finally just had to quit during the race and just couldn't finish. And it was a tough time. He had emotionally had a difficult time, but obviously got over that and has gone on to become quite a representative for his home state, Congressman Jim Ryan, a guy that
like what he said to his future wife. I'm from Kansas. I run fast. Catch up with you later.
Exactly. Yeah, he was elected to the House of Representatives in 1996. Had a company called Jim Ryan Sports, which was running sports camps, which I think he still does, and corporations, Christian groups. He has, by the way, 50% hearing loss himself. You couldn't tell I'm talking to him. But he helped something called the Resound Hearing Aid Company develop a program called Sound of Success. It aims at helping children with hearing loss. So very involved in summer camps, very involved in that kind of thing, and a guy that's going to be a good representative here for Helping Hands. We encourage you, again, to take part. Let's talk about Kevin Durant. We talked about it just a little bit in the NBA. Tom, I told Austin during the break, and you were back doing production. I always liked Kevin Durant. Now I'm even a bigger fan of this guy. If you haven't seen it, we're going to play it for you here, but you got to see it in the context of it. When he got up to take his MVP award, it was one of the best things I've ever seen in sports. So when he got the MVP award, he didn't want to do the usual thing. He did this when he accepted it.
And last, my mom.
That's what you wanted?
Yeah.
I don't think you know what you did. You had my brother when you were 18 years old. 3 years later, I came out. We were stacked, the odds were stacked against us. Single parent with 2 boys by the time you were 21 years old. Everybody told us we weren't supposed to be here. We moved from apartment to apartment by ourselves. One of the best memories I had is when we moved into our first apartment. No bed, no furniture, and we just all sat in the living room and just hugged each other. Because that's what we thought we made it. And when something good happens to you, I don't know about you guys, but I tend to look back to what brought me here. And you wake me up in the middle of the night in the summer times, making me run up a hill, making me do push-ups, screaming at me from the sideline of my games at 8 or 9 years old. We wasn't supposed to be here. You made us believe. You kept us off the street, put clothes on our backs, food on the table. When you didn't eat, you made sure we ate. You went to sleep hungry. You sacrificed for us. You the real MVP.
Now that will choke you up. Wow. I would say that would be one of the most widely heard on the internet and seen on television in a long, long time. Kevin Durant on his MVP speech. It's just hard to top that.
That's Jim Valvano-esque.
Yeah. And, you know, at a guy who said at his moment of the height of his career, he gave back to his mom. What a Mother's Day present that was for his mother. Terrific. I'll take a break, come back, more coming your way right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Hey, bring me down. Can't nothing bring me down.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's national magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on.
Are you a business owner looking for a new and innovative way to reach consumers by thinking outside of the box? Well, here's a great new idea that thinks inside the box. Value Box. Value Box is a beautiful recipe box that features your business's profile on the front of recipe cards with a personal recipe on the back. With Value Box, a business's name can stay in front of their customers for years. They also offer an app for your iPhone or iPad for those who cook in the 21st century. So if it's time for your business to think outside the box to reach consumers, start by thinking inside the box with Value Box. For more information, you can contact Chuck Henderson of Value Box USA at 352-433-5301. That's 352-433-5301. Or by email, chuck@valueboxusa.com.
Keeping you in touch with Ocala. WOCA.
Fox News Radio, I'm Jane Metzler. The House now debating a resolution
recommending that the House of Representatives find Lois G. Lerner, former director, exempt organizations, Internal Revenue Service, in contempt of Congress for refusal to comply with a subpoena.
Lerner's IRS division allegedly discriminated against conservative groups in determining tax-exempt status. For the first time, President Obama visiting the state of Arkansas. He's touring tornado damage near Little Rock.
Federal government's going to be right here until we get these communities rebuilt, because when something like this happens to a wonderful community like this one, it happens to all of us, and we've got to be there for them.
U.S. markets ending mixed. The Dow up 118, the Nasdaq down 13, the S&P plus 10. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Get more control over your small business with ADT Security Services. Through June 1st, get $250 instant savings on select ADT business packages. Get 24/7 burglary monitoring, a motion detector, 2 wireless cameras, and a lot less worries about your business. Call Star ADT from your cell phone. That's Star 238. It's savings made simple. ADT, our business is helping your business. 36-month monitoring contract required. For applicable terms and conditions, visit ADT.com. Florida EF0001121.
And now, another golf confessional brought to you by Golfsmith. Recently, a man told us he'd finally learned to deal with his anthropophobia, an overwhelming fear of other people. How? He went to Golfsmith and got the Nike VRS Covert 2.0 driver with its high-speed cavity-back design. Now he hits the ball so far, he doesn't have to be around anyone on the course. You don't need a psychological disorder to get the Nike VRS Covert 2.0 driver. You just need to go to Golfsmith.
Earn an income and regain your health.
My name is Dave. I've been a type 2 diabetic for about 20 years. Before I was introduced to the product, my sugar was running in the 200s. Now it's anywhere between 80 and 100, and I earn $500 to $1,000 a month.
I lowered my cholesterol 100 points. Because I shared with other people, I've been able to be a stay-at-home mom. I've earned over $100,000 a year, and I've been able to travel the world with this company. I am very excited.
I'm Paul. I had a son with 60 food allergies, and he's done wonderful. I got laid off after a 24-year career. We started working this full-time. Within a year and a half, we had $4,000 or $5,000 profit every month. Recently, we had 1 month that went over $12,000. We love this company.
Do you need more income? The science of epigenetics is getting attention from the medical community, National Cancer Institute, American Heart Association, and others. Call Arlene and Dave 352-239-1032. 352-239-1032.
Look who just walked in the room. Joel Wiesner from What's Up Ocala. Hey, Joel, I'm looking for something to do this weekend. You got any ideas?
Absolutely. Check out our event calendar online at www.whatsupocala.com, and there is plenty of events there for you. Daily news updates to event reviews and magazine articles.
Really?
We've organized it all in one place online for you to cut through all of the hassle of finding something to do this weekend. We have a daily event calendar, a bi-monthly magazine, and we also do daily news articles.
All right, Joel, that's perfect. Thanks so much.
Yeah, whatsupocala.com.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
All right, back. You guys all queued up, ready to go. We got golf this week, which Tom and I are going to be broadcasting live starting tomorrow from Sawgrass, the Players' Championship right there in beautiful Ponte Vedra. I used to live in Ponte Vedra. I love that town. I could live there in a heartbeat if I couldn't afford it. One of my favorite towns. If I could afford it.
Why you live in Jack's Beach or Neptune and drive over?
No, bud. I wanted to live in Ponte Vedra.
Live in Volano and drive over.
Once I was able to be a member of Ponte Vedra and Country Club, which I was for a year.
Oh, it's so nice.
I said, I'm there. And I was a member for a year because the newspaper paid my membership. Right. Wonderful town, wonderful place, great. A little too rich for my blood, but boy, is it nice.
Well, Volano Beach is really nice. It's right next to it.
I'm just saying, I want to be in Ponte. What did our man Wayne Knowles say about not settling for the other, other bicycle?
He wanted a black Phantom, buddy.
Yeah, I wanted to live in Ponte Vedra. That's the key. And I got to for a year, and then had this little house there that I was renting. I asked the guy if I could buy it, and he said, "Yeah." How much is? $145,000. I said, "No, I ain't pay that kind of money." Guess what it sold for eventually?
Oh yeah,
$800,000.
Right, and now it's probably worth $2 million.
Who knows? It wasn't the house wasn't so good. The lot was on the golf course. Anyway, I digress. We're going there tomorrow. Watch some golf. I don't know who to pick. I don't know who to pick anymore. I can't pick Mickelson, although he was hitting his club's right hand today at number 17. So he must be.
You can't pick the defending champion.
No,
because he's not there. Tiger Woods isn't there.
Right. I'm not ready for your man Adam to win again. I don't know. I'm just kind of at a loss.
I got a name for you that you might be surprised at.
All right, give it to me.
Former Players Champion winner.
Yeah.
And seems to really like this golf course. Sets up well for his game. Sergio Garcia.
No.
He's had a third Shell Houston Open.
Can't pull the trigger. He cannot pull the trigger. He just can't.
He won this tournament 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
That's 4 years ago. And he's had time after time after time of being in the show, in the heat, chances to win. He can't pull the trigger.
Well, this year he's missed the cut at the Augusta National, but other than that, he's had an impressive year. He's finished in the top 10 4 times in 7 starts, and he's won at TPC and has 3 other top 10 finishes there. So, you know,
let me say one thing: finishing in the top 10 is not winning.
I'm just saying. No. Don't sleep on Sergio Garcia.
For whatever it's worth, my pick, Adam Scott.
Well, I said Adam Scott. Probably I can't take him just at this point in time.
But I don't know. I got from the.
It's not for Bubba. It's not his kind of course. It's just.
I got TJ Aguilar of PGA.com gives you 5 golfers to watch. Oh, look, one of his first golfers, Sergio Garcia.
I'm going Matt Kuchar again.
Well, he's got Sergio Garcia, KJ Choi, Rory McIlroy, Jim Furyk, but his number 1 golfer to watch this week, Matt Kuchar.
There you go, my man.
Matt Kuchar.
Now, here's the guys that are playing really good.
He has
all around it. Couldn't finish up the other day, but I think it's time for Matt Kuchar.
He's on a stretch right now with no worse than a tie for 5th in his last 4 starts.
Just to give you an idea,
he's finished in top 5 the last 4 times out.
Just to give you an idea, the odds: Rory McIlroy 12-1, Adam Scott 14-1, Kuchar 18-1, Sergio 20-1.
So Sergio's Vegas has Sergio 4th in the odds.
Bubba and Phil Mickelson 28-1.
Well, golf odds are tricky. You know,
this course doesn't set up for Bubba at all.
Golf odds are just tricky. No, Bubba can't play that golf course.
No.
Have you ever played it?
Yes.
Of course, I'm not a professional golfer, but I do not like it at all. I admire it. It's if you're not in just exactly right, you don't land your drive in the right spot, you could be hit it sideways. I mean, it's just really hard.
The Valley course is a much better layout and course than the championship course at TPC Sawgrass, without a doubt. But like you said, one of the best courses in that area that doesn't get television pub is across the street at the Ponte Vedra Country Club.
Yeah, it's good. And, of course, across the street also Sawgrass, the original place it was played when the wind was blowing 5,000 miles an hour.
5,000 miles an hour.
Built by my late friend and former addict mate of the Fido House, Ed C. built that golf course. And, that was and I'm telling you, when they first started playing out there, it was like being in a cyclone. Incredible. But it's become quite an event. I remember when Jack Nicklaus first played there on the new course, and they asked him how he liked it. He says, it's like hitting a 1-iron to the hood of a Volkswagen.
Exactly.
Talk about tough. So
look, it's a tough golf course, and 18 may be the toughest finishing hole in all of golf.
Well, given the conditions and what you have to do, I think 17 is a lot tougher than people want to admit.
It's only 138 yards.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you stand up there when you got a lead, and your wind's blowing. You could hit anything. Who knows what you're hitting? And you got to get it. If you get, we've seen guys dunk it. The most weird thing I've seen there was the time that the guy had the golf ball taken by a bird. Remember that?
Yeah, the seagull picked it up.
Picked it up and
went to fly and dropped it in the pond.
That's weird. Of course, the big stat is always how many balls in the water.
How many balls in the water at 17? But a lot of balls, that's what people don't remember. A lot of golf balls end up in the water on 16, the par 5, with people trying to go for it. And a lot of balls end up in the water on 18 on the drive.
What is your favorite thing about this tournament? Is there one particular thing? Because, I can tell you about Augusta. I got the ritual there down where I haven't been in a couple of years. But, I got Amen Corner, and I got the Peach Cobbler, and I got all those little places on the golf course, Cathedral of Pines on 10, different things. But I don't have that at the Players' Championship. But is there one spot, one place, one hole, one thing about this?
See, I like the 10th hole, the start of the back 9. Yeah. But it's a stadium course, so there's really not a bad look anywhere around the course because they build hills so you can always see. But to me, just like a lot of people, on Friday afternoon at noon, all the business is practically closed in Jacksonville. And to be around say what you want about the 17th green and everything, Friday, on Fridays at the 17th green at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, That is one of the biggest parties you'll ever be part of.
I knew it'd be around, get around to a party. It wouldn't be about like the sunrise or the sunset or the beautiful contours of the greens. It wouldn't be about what a great hole this was. It'd be a party with you.
It's always about the party, buddy.
Wow.
Well, but that's because the TPC, the Players Championship, is the jewel event for the PGA. I mean, for the PGA Tour, and they like that it's a party atmosphere. They like that everybody has a good time and enjoys themselves. This is where they say that the pro golfers come out to show that they're the best of the best. And so it's, the course-wise, though, if you ask me what my favorite hole on the golf course was, that's a no-brainer. I love number 9. That dogleg right coming in.
It's a beautiful hole.
It's a great hole. You got the trees jutting out that block the front of the green.
Moss hanging there.
It's fabulous.
I still like it better in March.
The weather played a lot more havoc and did a lot more to destroy people's games.
I like when you got sweater weather. Golf is good. It can be
but
cold.
They did it because they didn't want to be a stepchild to the Masters.
I think it was a good lead up to the Masters, in my opinion. I thought it was a great time because you started getting interested in golf again. Now it seems like the Masters just kind of sort of sneaks up on you.
Well, the problem with the Players now being where it is it just seems out of sort for how the PGA does Hawaii, they do California and Arizona, then they do Florida, then they go on up into Georgia and South Carolina, and they take a little trek. Well, then they go up into Virginia, and then they turn around and come back to Florida. It just doesn't flow very well the way the PGA Tour used to flow.
Yeah. All right, it's time to talk about the draft. We're going to talk about it whether we want to or not. And I'll be watching some of it. We'll be watching it tomorrow night, actually, after we get off the air.
Yes.
In the first rounds. And, it's a lot of pomp and circumstance and what have you. The big stories we know, Clowney, Menzel, whatever. Couple stories today, and nobody knows anything. It's all speculation. Couple stories today talking about who will go where. It's not just Houston and Jadavion Clowney. You're calling it Jadavion now. That's what they pronounce it. It's not just Donnie Menzel, but those are big ones. And now they're all over the place with Menzel. All over the place. I got my thoughts about it. Also some more interesting things about the presentation of a little bit different today. When the players go up on the podium now after their pick, it will be a different kind of music. Of course, they've selected players to announce the second round, famous players, Hall of Famers, whatever, to do that. So, but it'll be the same old, Mel Kiper and the boys and doing the same old thing. They're analyzing the draft. It's gotten to a point where I think it's been so overanalyzed already that, I don't know what to think about it. But certainly there'll be a lot of talk about it. There'll be people who love it. There'll be people who are going to criticize it. I'm not a big fan of the draft, as I said, but we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about some draft right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Men, do you know your testosterone level? Are you experiencing decreased energy levels or unusual sleeping problems? Have you noticed you have less strength or endurance, decreased sex drive, increased irritability or depression? If so, you may be experiencing problems with low testosterone. If you're interested in a free testosterone screening, please call Rinstar Medical Research at 352-629-5800. Again, that number is 352-629-5800.
Hello, everybody. This is Terry Bradshaw of Fox NFL Sunday. Whenever I'm in Ocala, if I'm not digging and singing with my buddy Mel Tillis, then I'm listening to my longtime friend, Buddy Martin. Of course, I rarely get to Ocala, so if you believe that, I've got some horses I'd like to sell you. Some of them even have 4 legs. Regardless, I highly recommend you listen to Buddy Martin's Sports Page weekdays at 5 p.m. right here on The Source. Not as much, of course, as I recommend that you come to my own show currently playing around America. Terry Bradshaw, America's favorite dumb blonde, a life in 4 quarters. I'm telling you, folks, it's a scream.
This is Austin Tapper reminding you to stay in contact with us at WOCA. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at Voice of Ocala. Make sure to become a friend of our Facebook page and call us at 622-9622.
You know what that anticipation feels like when you're about to open a gift? In a Box offers personalized gifts. Everything you'll need for that special occasion. In a Box. Holidays, birthdays, graduations, spa days, weddings, anniversaries, get-wells, and more. In a Box. Visit inaboxcelebrations.com and pick your theme. There's even a corporate option. Inabox creates the magic, and you'll be the rock star. Visit inaboxcelebrations.com. Partnered with Woodley Gardens.
1370 WOCA.
Like it or not, springtime is just around the corner, and so is spring cleaning and those winter projects you've been putting off. But don't worry, Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for one day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now.
Hi, this is Sam Roberts with Air Ducts Heating and Air. I've been in the air conditioning business for years, but just recently my wife and I decided to open our own business. It's a difficult economic environment, but praise God, we've been doing just fine. And I'd like to take this time to thank all of my customers. I'd also like to invite you to give Air Ducts Heating and Air a try. You see, I don't have the high overhead of having 30 trucks on the road, dozens of employees, etc. And that means I can give you the absolute lowest rock bottom price on your new AC system. When you call Air Ducts Heating and Air, 215-4624, that's 215-4624, I personally will come to your home and give you a free, no obligation in-home estimate. Air Ducts Heating and Air is a family-owned and operated business, and it'll be our pleasure to help keep your family comfortable.
Call today, 304-6766. That's 304-6766.
Call today for your free in-home estimate. License number CAC 1817288.
Courage and the strength I need. Please believe.
All kind of rumors out there about Johnny Manziel's story saying that, number one, Jacksonville may take him. Then there's a story out saying Manziel didn't want to play for Jacksonville. Now Manziel's agent said he never said that. I got a gut thing about Manziel playing in Jacksonville. I don't know what it is about it. Yesterday I thought about this. I just feel like that's the guy who can really stir up the interest and get them going and get some interest in that franchise. I mean, not that Tim Tebow was the answer, but they screwed up by not at least bringing him on the squad. They could have got him for nothing practically. But I think if they pass Johnny Manziel, they will live to regret this and may never overcome it. I think Jacksonville has got to take Johnny Manziel.
I disagree with you. I think that Jacksonville, if you want to put people in the seats, and you want a guy that maybe will last for a while, you go get the kid that's just down the road from you, played his college career, put his college on the map in Orlando. You go draft Blake Bortles.
No comparison who would have the bigger draw and who the higher profile would be. Johnny Manziel.
Over the long haul,
8,000.
Over the long haul, Blake Bortles is going to be the better quarterback in the NFL.
We'll see about that. I'll make you a wager on that.
Okay. Hey, let me ask you this question, though. Houston, I think it's a no-brainer now. Jadeveon Clowney's going to Houston.
I agree.
Okay. What do you do if you are the St. Louis Rams? Because you got a quarterback that I don't think you're really sold on. He got injured last year. He's the last group. He's the last of that group of rookies that you had to pay a ton of money before they ever played any football. So you can free up salary. Could the Rams grab a quarterback at number 2, even though they have Sam Bradford?
I don't think so. I think you can get a quarterback later, by the way, too. Still got a good player at the top.
Because they do pick twice in the first round.
You can get a quarterback later. I mean, you still got 4, 5, 6. I mean, there's some guys out there who are pretty good quarterbacks. I mean, let's face it, the really great quarterbacks have been 5th and 6th round draft choices a lot of times. So there's guys in the first round they can still get. I'm going to get, what's that kid's name from Buffalo? Khalil Mack. Mack, yeah. Moore, he looks like, I've not seen him play, so I don't know. I can't tell you that. But anyway, there's players out there they get. They're difference makers at that level. I don't think they'll go.
So when do you think the first quarterback is taken? Jacksonville takes the first quarterback?
Jacksonville takes Manziel. That's what I think.
I think Jacksonville takes Blake Bortles.
Okay.
I think Blake Bortles is the best of the three quarterbacks that are first-round prospects. Teddy Bridgewater, Blake Bortles, and Johnny Manziel. And somebody says, how can you say that? Well, he didn't play in the SEC. Manziel did and won a Heisman. You can't argue that. What about Teddy Bridgewater? Blake Bortles beat Teddy Bridgewater. Blake Bortles had a better game than Teddy Bridgewater had. Yeah. So when people say, well, Blake Bortles didn't play any competition, neither did Teddy Bridgewater.
All right, I'm not going to argue with you about it. I'm just going to say that you had never heard of Blake Bortles till last year, okay?
Only reason you knew who Teddy Bridgewater was, they beat
Johnny
Florida.
Manziel was already a superstar.
I understand. I'm not arguing Johnny Manziel.
Blake Bortles was anybody. Manziel was lighting up Nick Saban's team.
I'm not arguing about Johnny Manziel. No. He was SEC and Heisman Trophy. But for the people to say Teddy Bridgewater is such a great quarterback and Blake Bortles isn't in Teddy Bridgewater because the competition
Bridgewater's dropping, by the way.
They played the same competition.
All right, let's get this through now because I want to hear some NBA. New music for the draft choices. They get to pick their own music now when they get up on the stage.
Is it going to be clean versions?
That's a good question. What do you think? How much rap will be? How much country western?
It'll be, I would say, 80 to 85% rap music.
Yeah. Austin mentioned this earlier. Richard Sherman got a big payday today, almost $60 million.
Huge payday.
So they're getting paid. All right, let's talk NBA.
Tonight.
What we got tonight?
Wizards and Pacers, game 2.
Wizards go up 2-0.
I agree. 7 p.m. on TNT.
Pathetic.
Nightcap, 9:30 TNT. Clippers and Thunder. But that Wizards Pacers, I told you this earlier, but I'm so tired of hearing the storylines with the Pacers. The Pacers are as well, but they're not doing anything about it. They're playing terrible basketball. The Washington Wizards backcourt outplayed the Pacers backcourt. And
Bradley Beal, John Wall.
Exactly.
And the Wizards down low absolutely outplayed the Pacers down low,
Listen,
too.
Roy Hibbert, 7-2. My man's averaging 4.6 points in the playoffs, had 0 points, 0 rebounds in a game where I think he could dominate. If he was playing at his best, he could dominate Marcin Gortat and Nene down low, but he's letting him get the best of him.
Vogel says he doesn't care if he scores, just wants you to play defense.
Could anybody truthfully say anywhere on this planet at the beginning of this season that the Washington Wizards would be in the NBA Eastern Conference Finals, have the possibility of being in the Eastern Conference Finals?
And more power to them. I think, what's the over-under on this real quick? How long before they take Roy Hibbert out of the game tonight? I give him 5-6 minutes if he doesn't score and start playing.
He may take himself out of the game with foul trouble.
Yeah. I don't think Vogel is sitting, though. I think it's too much pressure. What is the other game tonight?
Clippers and Thunder. This was a crazy game 2 nights ago. Chris Paul, 8 of 9 from 3, hit like 7 in the first half. He was going crazy, and it was a point guard matchup, and a lot of people were focusing on the point guard matchup between Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook. But then after the game, Russell Westbrook said, "Look, it's not Chris Paul versus Russell Westbrook. It's the Thunder versus the Clippers." I think this is a very intriguing series just because both teams are so aggressive on the offensive side. They're so explosive on the offensive end. It's really going to come down to who can make the less mistakes and who can score the best on the offensive side. But both those games tonight, 7 and 9:30 on TNT.
7 and 9:30. Still TNT stuff, huh? Okay.
Yes.
All right. I want to thank our guests today. Raymond Andrews from Regions Bank, Nathan Garcia from Brokers Associate at McBride Land Company, and also Dave Cope, State of Real Estate. Thanks to Lisa Midget and Congressman Jim Ryan. I'm Buddy Martin on behalf of my broadcaster partner Tom, and for Austin Statman Tapman, I'm Buddy Martin.
She grew up in an Indiana town, had a good-looking mom who never was around, but she grew up tall and...
Need a car? Need finance?